Today in this video I'll be a little bit controversial for the raw vegan movement, maybe. I don't know. The health movement. But listen, there's a lot of people that want to quote old books and old natural hygiene books and follow these guidelines and principles that have been outlined. And a lot of it is complete rubbish. you know. And a lot of those people were just misinformed. They didn't have the information. They didn't have enough information. And it's really shocking to me, confusing, and so on, when there's people that are basing the information they're putting out on books that are like 80, 100 years old, that haven't taken into account any of the information that's come since then, or all the science that's come since then. And there's a group in particular, there's a few groups on Facebook, and it was like they would reference, when you got into a discussion with them, they would start referencing some guy from 70 or 80 years ago and what he said, and you think, why do you believe that guy is completely right about everything? Like, it's almost like a biblical thing. Sorry, I just need to itch my nose. And it's dangerous. It's dangerous for anyone to start doing that. Not in most things, because a lot of the information's pretty tame. But in certain situations, it could lead to harm, and one of the main places when it comes to things like in natural hygiene, the information that was ever given out about teeth care, about looking after your teeth, it's all rubbish. It's all terrible information, and most of the practitioners within raw veganism, a lot of their information on looking after teeth and stuff's really bad. A few of them have had all their teeth taken out when they were younger, or had loads of fillings when they were younger. So some of them don't really have any natural. Some of them don't have maybe a lot of natural teeth left, especially at the front where a lot of the problems tend to happen. So they're talking about stuff when they've never really experienced it. Some of them have no problems with their teeth, and there's some people that just never have any problems with their teeth. It just kind of depends. But I'm just saying this because someone made a post recently about having some teeth problems and they were raw vegan. And I gave out some information to me that's pretty standard to give out to people, which is to floss, and if you've got a sensitive area, then brush or coat the area with fluoride, and you'll find fluoride toothpaste, and you find that helps a lot. And a friend of mine replied about that fluoride was toxic and all the rest of it, and a few other people were part of it, and they're quoting sort of natural hygiene principles and nature cure principles and all this stuff. And then one of them puts up a film that's like a propaganda film, conspiracy theory film, anti-fluoride film. And I'm not really sure whose agenda I've seen those films, no doubt, and I used to try and avoid fluoride and all that stuff, but it's silly. All the people that avoid fluoride, it's like they've bought into this nonsense. These stupid films. Like, just you got to grow up sometimes. You got to realize that the dentists aren't out to get you. The pharmaceutical companies, they aren't out to get people or kill them. They're looking to make money for sure, but they can only make money if some product they have actually has some effect and actually has some value and affects people. People aren't being scammed into doing these things. People will use these products, or doctors will use them, and if they find that they're effective, then they'll continue to use them. If they're not going to be forced into using them. I mean, how's that happening? Fluoride's just one of the fluoride toothpaste. If you've got a sensitive area on a tooth, say you had a sensitive area down here, and it was a bit of pain, and you put fluoride toothpaste on it, it's like, or brush it first, so there's nothing on it, because sometimes it's just there's some food that's sticking on it, and that's what's causing the pain. And what should be, if you just leave the food on it, then it can never, remineralize. But if you put the fluoride toothpaste on it, it can often very, very quickly, any pain or sensitivity goes away. You can test that yourself. And the reason is it's pretty simply that it's killing the bacteria that are causing the problem. So it is toxic. Like it's not something you want to eat a huge amount of. But when it comes to pain, most people are happy to do something about pain. People are taking painkillers and stuff. Now, obviously, you want to get rid of the reason for the pain. But it's just one area where I feel like there's all this natural hygiene information that's just sort of rubbish and not very helpful and not particularly good. So some of it's good, but a lot of it's just like stuff that people have said and made up, and that's what's really annoying as well. If we want to go out as speaking the truth is very, very important in life. Finding the truth, putting across the truth, it's like one of the highest values in life. And if you're found to be someone that is honest and has truth to say, then people will follow you and listen to you, and they'll listen to your opinion. But if you just put out random nonsense that you just kind of make up, now I've put out a lot of opinions and things that I've made up and stuff that I can't back up, but they're opinions on the experiences and things that I've felt and whatever else, because there's maybe not enough science and everything behind it. But I want to get razor sharp, I want to get to the point where everything, if I give a presentation, if someone asks me about raw vegan diet or veganism or fruitarianism or anything, that my information is razor sharp, absolute, to the point, and fully backed up with references and studies and so on, and so on. And that's what we should all be in this movement. That's what we should all be looking towards, not some agenda or some opinion or some like idea that we want to be true, and not trying to just find our own wee thing and trying to get some little power trip going or whatever. It's finding the things that we can all collectively agree on and say, yeah, fruit's the best or whatever, and here's the information, here's the various major national health boards talking about fruit, talking about how much people need to eat more fruit. There's no limit to how much fruit, there's no damage of fruit, and have all that information, and then have information about veganism, plant-based diets, have information and know all that, and then be able to help people with changing. And we should all be striving towards that, because if we want to, as a group, change the world and change the world towards a vegan world and a predominantly a raw vegan world, if we want to do that, then we need to have a lot of people that are real professional, really good spreaders of knowledge, and not just people that are, and this is the other thing, who are actually going out and spreading that knowledge, not I'm going to wait for people to come to me. Well, you're just going to wait your whole life. You need to be the person that stands up and gets out there and puts your clothes on and puts the suit and tie on and goes out there and talks to people and potentially knocks on the doors, puts out the leaflets, puts out the videos, organises the events and so on, and I suppose I'm talking to myself as well. But you can't do that if you're making yourself seem a bit foolish by quoting books that are 70 and 80 years old with information that doesn't work for people. with I mean every single natural hygiene book, every single one of them puts across a diet that doesn't work. Every single one of them is completely wrong. You know, a lot of them will talk about not eating too much fruit when that's never the issue. A lot of them will talk about a lot of them change diet and change, and that's the thing that you can discredit all because none of them ever worked out how to actually eat a hygienic diet, and a lot of them died young because they probably never even got their own diet together. Um, so and they use and people that quote these books use all that old language, you know, and that's why you know that they're using natural hygiene books. So all that stuff's good. It's inspirational. It's nice. They quote raw living foods and all that stuff, but really the first book, as far as I'm concerned, the first book they really clearly put the diet down and explained how people can actually do it. 100% raw vegan is the 80-10-10 diet by Doug Graham. That's why the book had such an impact because it actually showed people here's a very clear way of doing a raw vegan diet that works long term. And that's why that's a special book. But don't just go out there and like spread misinformation. Like find the stuff that's real. And just because there's a conspiracy theory video on YouTube doesn't mean it's right. You know, these are journalists. These are filmmakers. You know, the idea that you just throw out all the science that's been done over a film is and especially when it's got a conspiracy theory agenda of like evil people ruling the world and all that stuff, none of that's helpful. None of that's going to help someone change their diet and lose the weight they need and reduce their risk of all these diseases. You know, so if you want to help people, then get the the good information that really helps people, get it together, and make it so your words are just absolute. You know that it's absolute killer information, totally honest and true, and not spreading this stuff that isn't helpful. Like, oh well, just follow all the natural hygiene principles and everything will be fine. No, sometimes you need to go to the doctor. You know, sometimes you need to go and get a tumour cut out. You know, sometimes you need to go and get stuff done. Sometimes you need to take drugs or pharmaceuticals. You know, don't lie to people and say it's just follow natural hygiene principles, everything will be fine. You know, it's just lying to people. So there's a balance there anyway. Um, if you agree with me, leave your comments below. Let's maybe discuss this more. And if you do want to learn more about this lifestyle, you can come to the Fruit Fest. I'll put a link to the Fruit Fest in the UK. Okay, everyone, have a good day, and thank you very much.